Hello everybody, my name is Matt, also known as Matthew Mega. If you don't know who I am a professional Splatoon 3 competitive player and a professional commentator. Recently, I got invited to compete in a draft tournament called Raise for Races. Now, Races is a non-profit organization that does pro bono and low-cost legal assistance to immigrants and asylum seekers in Texas. Recently, all of the Splatoon TOs, aka tournament organizers, got invited to compete in a draft tournament. What the draft tournament is that everybody got split up into 4 different skill levels, and one player from every skill level would be on a team. For this tournament, I was in the highest skill level, aka Tier 1, and all my teammates were tiers below me. On screen are my teammates, shout out to them, they played amazing, and this is Team Yuri playing. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my mindset and how I analyze certain games. Yuri playing did actually place very good. Out of the 38 teams, we placed 11th, and we were 3rd in the beta bracket, which is the second highest bracket of the tournament. So anyways, enough of me yapping. You're about to listen to me yap even more. Okay, so starting off, I just want to say I'm not going to be going over every single game because there is a lot of them. But we will be starting off with groups round 1. So this is our first match. This was against 3/4 of Roger Craig. So this was a win for us. So let's see how we approach this game. So right away, I do want to point out the comps that we are looking at. Let me just, yep, there we go. I can't. Okay, anyways, so the comp that we ran for this entire tournament consisted of me on dualies, Shelby on Splattershot, KJ on Zap, and Tomu on Stringer. So this was the comp we used throughout the entire tournament. Very well-rounded comp. Not very common that you see Stringer, but we were still able to work it out. And for the other team, we see a junior, so they do have a bubble, paintbrush, wiper, and shot. So immediately looking, I believe we go for pop here. Yep, we do, because we have. So the reason why we go for pop is because we do have, I believe, three suction bombs. So going in, we knew about that pop, so we went for it immediately. Able to take out the wiper. Now I'm seeing here, just charging up my crab. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how this works. Alright, so right here, very crucial, we pop our cooler. Depending on the scenario you're in, whenever you pop the cooler, it basically just means to go forward. So right here, on top of the fact that we do pop cooler, I go in for my crab. As you can see, there is a bomb next to me, which I believe doesn't get me. Yeah, so I do notice the bomb. But it does get our stringer. And as you can see, there is a very scary Trizuka that's now pointed directly at me, which was not good. But I end up getting the pick anyways. And then the second I pick up the cooler, the paintbrush ends up rushing towards me. And as you can see, our shot's actually ahead of us, fighting that zap, or the wiper, and gets taken out. So now we're 3 down, and they're up 3. So this is going to give them a chance to push here, so we need to play defense. See, basically my goal here is just gonna try to watch that checkpoint, throw bombs at them, and charge up the crab. They do pop hammer here, if you heard it. And there goes their missiles. That's gonna try to disperse us around. They're immediately pushing for that checkpoint. Luckily, our teammate is actually able to take out the Rainmaker specifically. I end up going down to the paintbrush. We end up trading it with the Trizuka, which is very good. And now they're 2 down, so they're, I believe right here, they want to back up here. And because we're up, we're going to push up. I have my crab ready. I end up going down to the wiper, which was not good. I did not take very good fights this game. So, okay, so right here, I see an opportunity to rush the Rainmaker because the wiper was distracted, but it ends up not working. They waste their hammer completely. I'm stuck on the left side of the map with the shot. I take out the shot, but it ends up being a trade because our shot is also down. So a very crucial thing that I do want to point out that I'm probably going to say a bunch. Our shot is our main aggression. I'm not the main aggression. Basically, my role here as a skirmisher is to take the fights that my teammates are already taking and just to support them. And then if I do need to fight, then I can. So our shot is the main front line here. So the second our shot goes down, it's going to be very risky to approach any fights. And I knew that going into this. So right here, very risky crab by me, because what ends up happening is that both the wiper and paintbrush end up forcing me here, which luckily I'm able to take out the zap or the wiper. Paintbrush is still there, so I do end up getting the shark, which was very good. Rainmaker's pushed out. I'm able to take out the Rainmaker, and then we're able to get that wiper for that full-on wipeout. So in this situation, now that they're wiped out and they're all respawning, we see me and my shot move forward. We're going to try to get as much coverage as possible. We do not want space for the enemy to move. We pop our cooler. I have my crab ready. This means it's going to be time to push. So I make the call out here to go left because I have this area painted. And then I see that the wiper is fighting on spawn against my zap. So I go in with the crab to help him out. And then I realize we're all of a sudden 2 down. But luckily, the Rainmaker is actually directly behind me. They're able to follow me, and they're able to get that checkpoint, despite the fact that we are in a 2v2, which is a very risky situation. Typically, if you're in a 2v2 on Rainmaker and you're pushing forward, you don't want to push that, just because no matter what, they're going to have the advantage if you're pushing towards them. In most cases. So this was a little bit of a risky move, but because I was able to clear out the area, we were able to get that checkpoint, which is very good. And then our teammates are able to jump in there. They use their missiles, which ends up taking down our stringer, which isn't good here. Paintbrush pushes forward. I end up just grabbing the Rainmaker. We get down to 49. Not a very strong lead, but we do have that checkpoint, which is good, and we do get wiped out. So they're going to take that initiative to completely push forward here. So my goal here is to get into more of a defensive position where I can just throw bombs at them, which I end up just falling down. And I do take that chance to jump back because I do want to play this more safe. They end up getting taken out. We see that Junior respawn. Wiper goes down. And we do see that Paintbrush trying to move forward. They pick up that Rainmaker. And right here, our Zap makes a very crucial move. They're able to actually take out the Rainmaker before that checkpoint is cleared and back up safely. So very good pick off of our Zap. And then we're actually able to get the wipeout, and they don't get that checkpoint at all, which is very good. So right here, I'm taking more of an aggressive position. I want to hold as much space as possible here. I have my crab ready. I'm waiting for other specials. We have the whale. That's going to disperse them a little bit more. Doesn't help much in this case. We do see that wiper try to move forward. I end up getting the pick, but I go down to the missiles anyways. They have their bubble ready, and they have a Zuka ready. So this is going to be very risky, as they have 2 specials and they're pushing forward. Definitely something you don't want to deal with. And then, as you can see, I try to push in here. I'm able to get the pick off of the Junior. Unfortunately, they do get the checkpoint before I'm able to take them out. And then that Paintbrush gets pushed back a little bit. They're still stuck in that little area in that corner. So I want to push them back as much as possible, but I want to wait for my team to do that. So I'm just going to poke with bombs until I get a good enough chance to move. They pop their missiles. We're going to move around a little bit. We see that the Paintbrush, they don't know where I am. So I'm just going to try to shark them out. And then I end up pushing this, which was very surprising of me. So I end up jumping out anyways because I know that's not safe. They're trying to push up there. I make basically a very risky move. I dive on that Rainmaker to take him out. And the reason why it ends up working here is because it's only that Paintbrush alive, and our shot's able to get the pick off of them. And then boom, less than seconds. All we have to do is play defense. I end up going on into mid. I try to distract them a little bit. They can't pop the Rainmaker. And boom, that's the game. So that was game 1. So that was a win for us, though. That was very good. Oh, I gotta go all the way down to the bottom now. So that was a very good game to start off the set. We'll go over a loss real quick. So this is Tower Control Ship Shape. So this is the game after. So they end up tying the score here. But I do want to go over a couple of my losses, just because it's always good to go over losses, because you end up finding the mistakes you make a lot easier and you can learn from them. So The difference here is that they end up wiping out the wiper for the decav, which is a move that typically you'd want to do here, just because decav is so strong on tower control. We're just going to paint up. I want to get my crab ready as fast as possible. The decav ends up pushing down here, so they end up overextending. We're able to get the pick off of them. Now that the decav is dead, this is a great opportunity. We pop the cooler. I'm about to have my crab. This is going to be a great chance for us to push up here. Boom, there's my crab. I try to take out the edit, but I don't seem to get... I do get him, so I am able to get the pick off the edit, but I do get pounced on by the shot. I have my cooler though, so I'm back very fast. We're still kind of in this mid standstill. Very hard to push here because our shot went down, and then right there our stringer goes down as well. I'm able to get the pick off the decav, but in this case it's better to just back up and save whatever space that I have. So I got my crab ready. They pop their Zuka as they approach that checkpoint, and it goes down. That's very big. Originally I thought that they didn't pop cooler, which would have been even huger, but they did end up popping the cooler. I get forced to fight the decav here. Not my best fight, but I am still able to take them out, and all of a sudden another 3 down. We're able to push that final player. They back out. So now this is a great chance for us to push up. They're 1 down. One of them jumped out, so I know that they're all stuck in their base. So this is a great chance for us to move forward, take that space possible, as now we're approaching that first checkpoint. We pop our Zuka to get coverage, but the decav ends up flanking, taking out our shot. Our stringer goes down. I'm able to jump on that tower just to try to clear that checkpoint. I try, but it's not exactly enough. I remember, yep, I do jump out. So not able to exactly clear checkpoint, but definitely get a couple points on board, but it's not a safe lead. They pop their cooler. This is how we know where they're pushing up, so we pop our cooler and our whale in response. They pop their Zuka, which ends up taking out both me and the stringer, which is very big for them. But our shot and our zap are actually able to get another pick on tower, delaying them a little bit more. We're able to push in there. I try to take out the wiper, the paintbrush, sorry, and it doesn't end up working. Definitely a fight more risky because of the positions that we're in as they're pushing towards us. But we do see that shot still staying on tower. They're able to get a few more points there before my teammates get some off. So they pop their Zuka. They're 2 down. Not a very good Zuka pull. You don't really want to pop specials, especially if you're 2 down and you're in this type of position where you're already getting backed up. I tried to take out that edit there, but I know I can't get the pick because their shot is already waiting there, and they pop their cooler. So they go down into that little spot there. I know that they're down there. And then we see the jump out. We're approaching that next checkpoint. They pop their missiles. That's just to get us off the tower. But I'm able to schmoover around them. No, I'm not. I go down. The shot's able to get another pick. So now we're 2 down. So in this case, it's better that we back up. Try to regroup. We end up getting the pick off of the shot. That's going to be really huge. I just want to keep our mid area clear, and that's exactly what we're able to do. Shelby gets the pick off of the decav, which is very huge. We want to take as much space as possible, but the paintbrush ends up taking out our shot, and as I said earlier, shot is our main front line, so when they go down, it's going to be really hard for us to make space. So they're approaching. I see the decav. I do end up taking the 1v1, ends up in a trade. But they're just pushing. And again, our shot goes down. This is going to be very risky because now we have to approach this checkpoint. And this is very crucial. The Zuka ends up getting a pick off of the zap, which then I end up getting hit by this paintbrush. I'm able to trade, but it's not much. And they're able to push even further. They push back that 3rd checkpoint, but our zap is able to get a lucky double to get them off that tower. And now we're able to finally push back. Paintbrush is still gonna do its annoying little roll. Shark can take me out. Boom, paintbrush goes down. And I end up going down to the decav. So now they're pushing forward. So, very risky situation for us. They have cooler. They're just full aggro. Their goal is to KO this match and get it over with. So they want to keep up as much of their aggression as they can with that cooler. But right here, we see both their front line and their backbone go down, which means they can't push forward. I end up dying to an unlucky bomb. We got 1 minute left. And as you can see, they're just getting these lucky picks that are really good for them. But we're able to do the same. I make a very bad move right there. I try to push that left platform when there were 3 of them there. That was a very bad move for my part. But nonetheless, we're able to actually take them out even further. And we see we get kind of stuck in that little corner. We're still not past the checkpoint. Our cooler gets popped, which means we need to take those aggressive positions. And it just barely outlives my crab. And did you see the decav? The decav is huge because right here, my entire team is trying to take him out. So I know he's behind, but I need to ride this tower. We finally get past that first checkpoint. We're riding the overtime. This was huge. We were able to get the pick off of the paintbrush, which they lose a lot of aggression. The second the paintbrush goes down, you really want to push up, because when you take out one of the frontline weapons, it's just like, hey, we took out this weapon. They can't fight as much. Let's move forward. But right here, our stringer ends up going down, which is not ideal. They pop their Zuka. I try to dance around it, but it just doesn't work. And we just get shut off that tower. Now, I do want to show off some better matches, so I'm not going to go over that match too much. But next match we did end up winning. That was on Clan Blitz Museum. But a set that I do want to especially talk about was this set. So, so this set that I do want to talk about, this set is Groups Round 2. This was against a team called Sendu Simps. So this was a more higher level pickup. Acing is a very good Luna Blaster player. So going into this match is definitely going to be something else, because we really don't want to fight that Luna Blaster. We do have the range advantage, but it's definitely going to be risky. Now, this match was actually streamed live, so there's actually a live replay of the commentators going over these matches. But this was a very good set that I did. This set was the reason why I wanted to make this video, just because I really liked the set, even though we did end up losing. So, again, we have our normal comp, and then we're up against a pro, an edit, a Tri-Slosher, and Luna Blaster. We do see some differences. They are using the crab edit instead of the cooler one, which is something you don't see very often. And then the Tri is on the cooler Tri. So immediately, we want to rush in, get our specials ready, go for that zone take. That's what this first part of the match really is. We pop both our cooler and Zuka. This is going to give us a really good chance to move in here and take space. Boom, their Luna Blaster goes down. They lose all their aggression. We push forward. Only thing that they can fight is their Tri now. I'm able to pop my crab. We get the pick off of the edit. And then I'm also able to get the pick off of the Tri. So, now even though our shot's down, we have our zone. Their teammates are respawning. We're in a very good position here. All we have to do is maintain the zone and we're fine. And boom, look at that. The pro goes down. The pro is very crucial because the pro is their Tentamissiles. And if they use Tentamissiles, it's going to separate us, and the Luna Blaster or the Tri-Slosher are going to easily pick us off. So getting the pick off of the pro was very crucial. And at the same time, I was also able to limit their cooler usage. Or their value, if you want to call it that. Their Luna Blaster jumps out. There goes their crab. We want to try to get that crab out of the way. We're just going to paint over it, as that's all we can do. They really don't get much value from it at all. But as you can see, we're all keeping this kind of mid position. I try to push up there. I notice I can't do that. I back up. And then boom, they pop their missiles and hammer. So right here, I'm like, okay, they're definitely going to push up. That's exactly what they do here. But we're still able to maintain that zone just a little bit longer before it ends up going into... They end up capping it. Yep. So our Zuka here, not the most ideal Zuka. Just try to get it whatever it picks. But boom, there goes our cooler and whale. So all of a sudden, it's a lot more worth it to pop that Zuka. We want to try to push up with this. We end up doing just that. Look at that. Their Luna Blaster tries to flank, but we end up getting the pick. And boom, their pro goes down, which means they're not going to have 10 missiles for the rest of this. They pop their crab, but they really don't get too much value from it. I pop mine. Edit goes down, Try goes down. So all of a sudden, they lose both their crab and their cooler, which are two crucial specials that they need to push in. So now that I know that both of these specials are out, I'm able to take a much more aggressive position. But they do still have missiles. And right here, this is why the Luna Blaster can be a little bit dangerous. As you can see, just sharks both me and the Zap out of the way, which is going to be huge because that's going to damage our cooler usage even more. There goes the hammer. They end up just wasting it. But the back out is going to be really huge here as they're going to take the zone. So now our goal is basically we need to charge up our specials. We need to get our specials on board. Then we'll push back in. So right here, you can see we're just charging up specials. And boom, right here, we make the call to pop them. There goes their cooler, there goes the whale, there goes the Zuka, and boom, there goes my crab. We're able to get the pick off the try right there. I'm able to get the sneaky pick off of the pro, so no more missiles. But they still do have pretty much control of the zone, so we do have to be careful pushing this. Their crab gets popped. It's going to be very hard to fight this, but I do end up getting the lucky pick off of the suction bomb. So now their crab is down for the count. We're able to push up here. They pop their missiles to separate us. And then the Luna Blaster decides to flank. Able to get another pick with that hammer. The hammer takes out this, our NZAP, which is going to be very big for them as now we're 2 down. We're going to get forced to back up here. And they're really pushing us. Their pro goes down again. Again, missiles. Very big. There goes their crab. I'm able to... Luna Blaster is trying to shark them. He doesn't notice me, though, so I'm able to get the pick off of. And then I pop my crab. Edit backs up. Cooler gets popped. That means you push up. Not able to get any picks off of that off the crab, unfortunately, and our shot does go down. Then the pro ends up flanking again. So now, we're a little bit separated. We're in very different positions right now. Luna Blaster goes down. I jump in there. So now I jump in. They have their crab ready. They pop their missiles. They want to maintain the zone. There goes their cooler. They want to just try. They want to take back the zone. But really, even with all those specials, they're not able to do exactly that. As you can see, another flank comes in there. We're able to get the pick off of them. Pro goes down again. Very good for us. This gives us a chance to move in. As you can see, there goes that cooler pop. And if you've noticed, the only time we typically pop cooler is if we have an advantage. So that try went down. They just lost a bunch of aggression. So because of that, we're like, hey, they don't have as much fighting power. Let's pop cooler, have even more fighting power, and then we'll push in. And we're able to get this zone here. I end up taking a more risky pick there, taking out the edit, but very crucial nonetheless. As you can see right here, look who it is again. It's that Luna Blaster. I end up trading it this time, but right here is where I notice that this team, all they're going to do is flank. That's their goal. They just want to flank us. So right there, you saw me go back there and watch this side. And because of that, I was able to make sure the Luna didn't get any extra value from that push. Tries us to push up. I back up a little bit. Now we're in the last 10 digits. Really, all you want to do here is paint. Their pro's dead. They're already down a player. Let's play it safe, and we'll just paint. There goes their Luna Blaster. They just lost all their aggression. And with the paint, we end up getting that KO. So, very good win to start off that set. But, the following next 2 games were losses. But if you can look at the score, they were both actually 1-point games. So, these were very close sets, and I do want to talk about what was kind of going through my head in this moment because of how close these games ended up being, which I did not expect. So, start of this game, definitely a little bit slower. Both teams just trying to take mid control. Right here, we end up popping our cooler. Not the best spot, but we pop it. We get the whale going. And right here, I remember Museum is a map that you can shark. And for Luna Blaster and Tri-Slosher, two very good sharking weapons, this works out for them. So they want to take full advantage of that ledge. And that's exactly what they're going to do throughout this game. They were able to take out my crab, and they were able to take out our zap, which would be crucial, as now they're going to push for that first start point. Try goes down, they lose some aggression. They pop their crab, which ends up getting shredded. Another jump onto the tower, it's Try. And all of a sudden, I thought we were in a good position, but now we're not. They're pushing us, I'm stuck behind, and my teammate's in front of them. And there's still two people for that push. But luckily, our Zap's able to get another pick, which leaves just Luna on tower. But Luna, of course, is a better fighter than my dualies and ends up taking me out. They're able to get that checkpoint through. So now they're pushing forward. I'm halfway to crab. I need to play very safe here. My goal here is to just throw bombs and hope I can get them off tower. And that's the call out I make here. I don't want them exactly to all jump the tower. I want them to throw bombs to try to get them off the tower and provide an opening. We do see some trades happen. Our zap goes down, which is going to be huge because our cooler isn't popped. So that's going to delay our cooler usage even more, which will potentially delay pushes. There goes my crab. Able to just push them back. Try goes down. There goes our cooler. We want to push this, but they waited for a good moment to pop their crab. But luckily, our Zuka is able to counteract that. I'm able to push up, and my goal here is just to get as many kills as I can. I see Luna appears behind us again. Another flank job. Remember what I said earlier in the first game, these guys like the flank. So that Luna flanking that position was not the most surprising thing to us, and we were able to counter it. Okay, so now I'm popping crab in a very interesting position. I'm on their spinner, which means I have high ground advantage on all of them, which means it's just going to be easy picking. They get completely thrown out. There goes that Luna Blaster. They're two down. And even with the missiles out, we're still able to push that tower forward. So, I make some crucial picks here. They have their... Okay, so right here, I make some crucial picks. But I do end up going down to a Fizzy, which was not ideal for my team. But we are able to get down to 25. We have that lead established. We're looking pretty good. They have their specials ready. They really just want to ledge camp us here, especially that Luna Blaster. So it's going to be very hard for us to approach it. So right here, I make the decision that I want to attack. We end up getting that crab out of the way, which is very good, which is going to force their team back into mid, as now they've lost somebody and a special. And boom, I make a very crucial crab here, and I am able to take out 3 of them. So now we can push back even further. So now this is looking pretty good for us. They're stuck on defense. We have a minute and a half left in the game. And we have a lead. The goal here was to basically accentuate our lead. So seeing if we can get past that checkpoint was going to be really good for us. So that's basically our goal and what's happening right now. This way we take this chance to push up again. And at least dig the tower into their base. I'm able to make a very big pick here. Edit tries to attack the tower. I'm able to get the pick off of them. They lose their crab. Which they really need their crab for a moment like this. Then I use my crab. But the Tri-Slasher is able to throw me out a little bit. I'm able to get some damage in before being taken out by that try. And right here, I did make the call to jump out, but it was a little bit too late. And we get wiped out. So definitely not the most ideal position we want to be in. We just went from completely destroying them to being on defense. So, and with this case, it's not a very strong lead. So it's going to be really hard for us to defend here. They have their crab ready. They want to get this push up. So right here, as I said earlier on, the Luna Blaster is very good for ledge camping and sharking. So that's exactly what they're able to do here. They're able to take off our Squiffer. I mean, a Stringer, sorry. They pop their crab. Basically, their goal is to just make sure we're completely pushed back. There goes their hammer. I jump back so I don't get hit by the hammer. So right here, they're still pushing. Edit goes down. It's a 4v3. We're going to push this. Doing exactly that. And we're able to just barely get them off the tower for a 1 point difference. So now, with 30 seconds left in the game, we don't have to push the tower. We're not going to push the tower because of how risky it is. So we're just going to play defense. The whale was a misplay. We could have kept it towards the end of the game, but we used it a little bit early. Luna Blaster goes down. That's going to be huge. They pop their cooler. This is their last chance. They pop their missiles. My goal here is to just throw bombs and get them off the tower. I make the call to use the crab just to try to shake them off. That ends up unfortunately not working. They pop their crab. Their hammer gets wasted. Right here, I try to make a hero play by jumping on the tower and getting them, but the Luna Blaster unfortunately takes me out, and this is when I notice that we're in a very bad position. I just went down. We lost a decent amount of aggression. We're fighting a 3v4, and they're about to take the lead. And there it is. So, what ended up happening was that both our Zap and Shot ended up bunching up, and the Luna Blaster was able to get a double. And because they got that double, they're able to push in, take out our Stringer, and take the lead. So that tied up the score 1-1. It was whatever. It was a 1 point game. Just had to move on to that third match. So let's talk about this third match, and then we'll move on to some later matches in the set. So, I do want to pause here. Again, look at the weapons. The Junior ends up being swapped out for the Custom Junior, so now they have Weightbreaker. And they have Torpedo, which is very good for Rainmaker. Immediately, our Zap does get taken out. I'm able to get a pick off of the Junior. Another trade on the board, so now it's a 2v2. So luckily, we're able to take out the try here. I do want to point out, that Tri and Luna are both very good weapons for this map. So this match definitely did favor them more than it favored us. So we had to be careful approaching this. So whenever we do get picks off of the Tri and Luna, we have to take full advantage of that. Right here, this leads us a good chance to push. As you see, there goes their junior. I'm able to crab. I'm able to take out their edit. Able to push forward. Unfortunately, this Luna Blaster is going to be very annoying, but we are able to clear that checkpoint. I try to just take a more aggressive position. I want to try to fight, get as many kills as I can, but the edit is going to be a pain, which is why you see me and Shelby try to focus it. But it unfortunately leads us to our death as the Tri-Slosher is able to take us out, leaving just our Stringer alive, but we were able to get down to 36, which is very good. We're a minute in, we're pretty far into their base, but we still need to be careful moving forward. Because now, they already have mid completely to themselves, and they're already pushing that checkpoint. So we're already backed up into our base going forward. I try to take a more aggressive position. I'm able to take out the Rainmaker before they get the checkpoint, which is very good. I force to try to back up a little bit, and then I try to I use my crab to try to get the final pick in, but I'm not able to, so crab was kind of a waste. They have their weight breaker, there it goes, and they also have their cooler down now. So they just want to keep up the aggression. Their goal here is to keep up the aggression until we end up folding under pressure. They pop their crab after seeing me. They do want to really take me out here, and that's exactly what they do. There goes our hammer, able to get 2 picks, which is going to allow them to get a push going, and they are able to clear that checkpoint as their Stringer is completely backed up. So right here, the goal basically in what I was telling the team is that we need to just throw bombs to make sure they can't get past that checkpoint, or that little chokehold. So right here, a lot just happened. As I said before, Luna is pretty good on this map, and we end up getting ledge camped. Which, now that our shot's down, is going to give them the chance to really push in there and get farther. I end up making the dive for it. I try to get that Rainmaker, but unfortunately, I'm just barely a second too late. And I end up just barely taking out the Rainmaker at 35, giving them a 1-point lead. But we are able to wipe them out. We're halfway through the game. We get the wipeout. We still have a chance to push in. We still have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, which is plenty amount of time to push in. And then we see the Luna Blaster again try to take those aggressive positions, but our team is able to just group up and take them out. Cooler goes down now that they're 1 down. This gives us a chance to push up. We end up using a lot of our cooler, waiting for the Rainmaker to reset, which was not good. And this crucial play here, the Luna is able to take me and my crab out before we were able to get any value of it. Luckily, we were back fast, so I was right into that match, but the Rainmaker does go down. And again, Luna Blaster, pretty good on this map, especially for its splash damage, so that was very big for them. I ended up pushing a solo fight, and I ended up losing because I'm not a very frontline weapon. I need to be careful with what fights I take, and that was just a bad fight. I should never have taken that fight. And it goes down, so their crowd usage is going to be down. Their junior goes down. They waste their special. Right here, we make the call to push, but it ends up that the Luna Blaster ends up grabbing the Rainmaker, which we were a little confused at first until I realized they were basically just stalling it out so their team could respawn. I get forced to fight the Tri. I end up trading. I still have my crab ready. So they want to just stall it out as much as possible. They have a minute left. They really just want to hold this Rainmaker. They don't want to push it, but they don't want us to push it. So they really just want to keep it in mid as much as possible. I panic grab here. You'll see me do that a couple times. If I see a group of enemies and I crab them and I'm already low on health, it's most likely just a panic crab, which is exactly what that was. So kind of a waste of a crab. I could have used it a little bit later on. So this is a very tricky spot to be in because we have to push forward, but they're really just letting us have it. I end up overextending, which wasn't good. I end up going a little bit too forward, and I do get picked off by the wave breaker. We pop our cooler, which means it's time to be aggressive. And we are really trying to be aggressive here, but we need to be safe at the same time, which is very hard in this situation. I pick up my cooler, I try to push again. My goal here was to take out the edit, which, as you can see, I cannot take out the edit, which was very crucial that we did get him out of the way, but unfortunately we weren't able to. And because of that, they're able to pop that crab. But they're 2 down, we have 10 seconds left. Can we push forward? Again, a little bit of an overextender. Fed a little bit. I'm able to take out the junior, but I leave my teammates alone with the Rainmaker, which isn't what I want. And they end up going down anyways because of the timer to seal the game. So that was game 3, and that was the end of the set. So very close games nonetheless, but they were able to close it out. Alrighty, so I am gonna fast forward a little bit. Now this is in the bracket stage. This was the semifinals of bracket. This is Jiri playing versus After Shadows. This was a very close set. We unfortunately lost it, but it was a 2-3 win for, it was a 3-2 win for them. I'm sorry, I'm tired. But we definitely put up a fight. So we're only gonna talk about 2 of the matches from this set, and then I'm gonna close out with the 3rd place match. So let's just talk about this museum game first. This was game 2 of the set, I believe. Or no, this is zones. This is zones, I'm sorry. This was the zones games of the set. So this was actually their pick. And as you can see, very interesting. The pen was definitely something we did not expect. The pen, typically you'd see the cooler pen, but we end up seeing the rain instead, which is going to help them. Rain ends up helping them a lot here. And to combat that, they end up going zap to keep their cooler. Immediately going for that zone. I'm trying to charge on my crab. Able to get the pick off of the dualies, so now they lose their crab, and as you can see, that decav, I see that decav's alone. They end up jumping out, so I can't get the pick off of them. Our coolers popped. Their dualies are still down, so that gives us the opportunity to push up. The pen ends up dropping, so we're able to get the pick off of them. And then the decav kind of just falls into us. And then their teammates start to follow in, and we're able to get the picks off of them. The pen, unfortunately, is able to pick me off right there, off my crab, but we still have that zone. Decap goes down, so they just lost all of their aggression. So, in this situation, Decav is their main aggression, and when they fall, it leaves the dualies or zap to fight, which isn't what you want. You really don't want your dualies to be frontlining as much as your Decav. So now that they're down, I want to push up, but we really can't because they're on both of our sides and there's a crab directly looking at me. And I end up getting into a bit of a fight here. I get backed up, and I'm getting pushed by 2 different people. But this is a decent spot for me to crab. I'm able to get the pick off the decav. That person jumps out, and their dualies go down. This gives us a chance to take that zone back. We're just going to paint up. I want to get another crab ready. Cooler's popped. We're going to play defense here. Their pen goes down, so they lose a lot of their paint. There goes their cooler. They're going to pop their crab. Their zap drops directly on top of me. I end up whiffing my shots. And I know that's a fight I can't take, so I just want to back up here and keep that zone. Which is exactly what I do. I want to charge up my crab. I get my crab here, but the decav is able to get a pick off of our teammate. And I believe they're able to get the cap here. We jump out. Yep. 45 penalty, so definitely a decently sized penalty. I pop my crab in a very bad spot. I shouldn't have popped it here, as I really don't get value from it. And our stringer gets taken down by a stray from the crab. And right here, definitely not the best place for us to cooler, because we are one down and then our shot ends up following. So I can't really get much value from that cooler. Decav just barely overextends, and I'm able to get the pick off of them. Finally, I'm able to pick up that cooler. Then I have my crab ready. Then I hear somebody's to my left. And I can't grab in that spot anymore. So I lose a little bit of value from the crab as they get stuck fighting the decav. But I'm able to help out the fight nonetheless. Able to support taking out both the decav and the dualies. They lose all their aggression. Their zap follows, so they lose all their paint. And we're slowly taking away at our penalty. The decav are able to single out here. But something else is happening, because our stringer goes down. So I end up backing up here. Our last player isn't able to, unfortunately. But I do have my crab ready, so we don't have to wait too long to get a push going. Here's my crab. I end up getting the pick off of the decav. I want to push here. But the reason why it doesn't end up working is because the shot goes down, and then the dualie is able to pick me off. So they're slowly taking down. They're able to take the lead. We have a little bit of time on our hands. Luckily, we're able to get the picks off the pen and decav, which gives us a chance to push in. I'm able to get rid of that dualie, and we take that zone back, and the zap goes down. But now our penalty is pretty much over. We just want to play defense. We don't have to push anything crazy. That's why I choose to back up. I don't have to fight that decav. We need to get that lead. So there goes my crab. The decav's trying to fight me off, but it ends up not working in their favor, as they needed to focus more on the zone. Pen goes down there, and I'm able to carry out that KO and finish off that game just like that. The pen can't really paint that, and boom, we get that KO. So that was game 2 of the set. And following with that, we end up getting reverse sweeped, which wasn't the best for us. But I do want to talk about this final match. We'll talk about... Let's talk about... Alright, let's go tower control Mako, because they knocked us out here. So, let's talk about this match real quickly. This was game 4 of the set, so the score was 2-1. And basically, I was telling the team, we just want to close this out. We don't want to switch this to a game 5. We got to close this out as fast as possible. So we just want to get that win. Again, untraditional, using the rain pen instead of the cooler pen, and then having the zap cover that cooler usage. Immediately going in, I want to charge up my crab as fast as possible, just like normal. I've been doing that this entire tournament. Our shot goes down, so we lose a lot of aggression, and our stringer then follows, and then the decav and dualies are able to pincer me out, and our zap goes down, which leads to a wipeout, which isn't good at all. In this situation, our cooler is basically alone. They have 3 specials ready. They just popped their rain. The decav is already on our left side, which is where decav would normally be, and it's just hard to fight when it's right there. So they're able to pop their bubble and get a lot of value from it, as they're able to distract us, able to get 2 picks off of us. They're still riding tower, and then the dualie ends up jumping in there, able to roll out of the way so our zap couldn't get the pick, and then somebody else comes up behind them for the fencer. So they're on this game. They're very coordinated. We need to be careful moving in. And then boom, I unfortunately lose the 1v1 to the decav, and they're pushing. They're pushing. We're finally able to get them off the tower. There goes the dually. And now what I really want to do here is I need mid. If we don't have mid, we really can't do much. So my goal here is to paint as much as I can to gain control. But because they pop the rain, it's very hard for me to do so. And the Pen's also there providing chip damage. I make a very aggressive crab play, which doesn't really work out here. I get forced to fight the dualies. We lose aggression again. Our shot goes down. I end up taking a very risky fight with those dualies. We do end up winning that. Their zap goes down, so now they won't have cooler. So we are able to flip it, so we have some sort of advantage moving forward. Right here, very crucial. The Pen ends up picking off my crab. So now I can't crab anymore, so we completely lose that push as our shot does go down, and our cooler is pretty much wasted. So now I'm thinking, okay, we don't have specials. We're multiple people down. They have a pretty good lead, and they're pushing us again. What can we possibly do here? And the goal is to throw bombs and not overextend. We want to throw bombs. But right here, the decav ends up going on our left side again and taking out the shot. And this is when I kind of realize that the decav, they're just going to sit on the left. That's all they're really good for in this situation. So I take him out with the crab real quick. I want to try to get him off tower with the crab. So even if it's just chip damage. Finally, we're able to get them off there. They're 2 down. They don't want to push this. Their Pen's going to try to back up. But they do have jumps in. That Zap tries to play very aggressively. It doesn't end up working. They go down. The dualie's stuck on the right side. And if you've noticed by now, as I said, the decav, they like to sit left. The dualies, they like to sit right. They have a habit of going right. So we need to expect at this point that the dualies are going to go right and the decav is going to go left. But this is going to give us an opportunity to really push. But because of that rain, it's going to delay us a little bit more. I pop my crab. I want to try to get as much value as possible. Luckily, their dualies go down. Their decav tries to push up. Boom, decav goes down. They're 3 down. This is very good for us. Our coolers popped. They're respawning. We're finally able to pass that checkpoint. We're finally really getting points on the board, but we need to still be careful. And right here, I end up making a call. And this is a very risky situation to be in. The second checkpoint on Tower Mako is basically a death zone. Someone's going to go down here. So I need to be very careful. That's why I hop off tower for a second here. But we still need to keep up the push. We're able to get some trades, which is fine. We're still making it even. Still even. I jump on that tower. But it ends up not getting much value. I'm able to get an extra couple points, but the Pen's able to take me out. I still have my crab, though. We want to keep this push alive. The reason why is because we don't have a lot of time. We have 1.5 minutes left. We don't want to waste a lot of time having to gather resources and make another push. We already have mid control and they're pushed back. I want to keep the tower in just up in their faces. We challenge that crab. Luckily, we're able to get him. We push past that second checkpoint. This is very huge. We're just going to push here. Decav ends up taking out our zap, which is going to be crucial. We're able to pick off the decav. But right here, unfortunately, the dualies get a lucky pick off of me. And I'm off the tower for the count. And look how close we are. We're very close to taking the lead. But because I got thrown off the tower, it's going to be very hard for us to push this. But we still push it nonetheless. And we're able to get that lead before end up getting a little delayed wiped. Down to 11. Minute left in the game. Look at these scores. We're currently winning. We want to play defense as much as possible. So our goal here is to just throw bombs. We want to get our specials up. We don't want to take a very aggressive positions, because if we do, we can potentially lead them to getting even more picks off of us, which is going to give them a better opportunity to push. So whenever you're in this kind of scenario, it's better to just try to stall in mid than try to push them again, because that's going to give them more of an incentive to really push up and get the kills off of you guys. So you can see that they're cooler. They're trying to push in here. We really just want to take them out. They're playing a lot more safer. This was a very lucky pick. They really shouldn't have gotten that, but they did. 30 seconds left. Most of their specials are out, which is good. They still have rain. We pop our cooler. We see the zap. They kind of overextend there, but the decap's able to actually follow them, and I'm not able to really fight them off, and I get picked off here. As you can see, they approach that checkpoint. I hear, by this point, it's just basically dive for the tower, but unfortunately, the ink blocked me off. I'm not able to jump on, and they get the KO. So the following match was another decently close match. I'm not going to go over it just because I don't want the video to be too long, as we are already at an hour without cutting out my voice when I did my fail takes. But we're pretty far, so I do want to talk about the final set real quickly before holding off. So we'll talk about these last two. We'll talk about game 1 and game 3, starting off with Barnacle So I'm only going to talk about games 1 and 3 as they're the most meaningful here. Game 2 was a little bit close, but we were able to shut them out. But I want to talk about these last two games. Starting off, Zones, Barnacle, and Dime. So if the names actually sound familiar, we just went over these matches. We fought them during the round 2 of group stage. Where are they? Yep, there they are. So as you can see, this ends up being a rematch. Yep, this ends up being a rematch against Sendu. So this is the 3rd place match. So basically, we're just fighting for 3rd place at this point. So starting off, game 1, Splat Zones, Barnacle, and Dime. So going into this match, because we've already fought them before, we have more of an understanding on how to approach this. And the main thing is that we need to take out that Luna Blaster. We need to take out the Luna Blaster, and they love flanks. That's how they make these opportunities on us, because we're not watching the flanks. And my dog is barking, I'm sorry. So we're really going to want to capitalize off taking out the Luna Blaster here. And I'm sorry about the dog, he just is barking. Immediately, our shot goes down to the Luna. I'm able to trade off, which is fine. There goes our cooler. They pop their bubble. They want to keep that part of the zone clear, but we're just going to get that bubble out of there. I pop my crab, and then right here, if you saw it, the Luna Blast is on the right side. So we want to be careful with that Luna Blaster. So I'm watching him. But at the same time, I need to attack their plat. I need to get them off that area because of the edit. Our Zap ends up trading off the Luna Blaster, so they lose a lot of aggression, and we're still able to keep up that paint. There goes that try. They still have crab ready. Another bubble goes down. We're just going to want to paint through that. And as I said, they love flanking, and we see that Luna Blaster on the right side, and they end up taking me out. Hold on, I'm gonna go yell at the dog. Waffles! Stop! Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by the dog, Acing ends up popping a hammer, able to get the pick off of our stringer. Very good positioning from them. All of a sudden, this just flips for them. So our goal here is we need to build our specials, and we need to push in as fast as possible. So we want to charge up our specials here. That's exactly what we're going to do. They have their bubble ready. And right here, I see a great opportunity. That edit is just open season for me. And I'm able to take them out. They pop their bubble on our plat. They want to try to keep it. They want to keep as much space as possible so that we can't push onto that platform. So we really want to get rid of that bubble, but we still need to push that zone. So we end up getting the pick off of the junior. So they lose a lot of their paint. It's just the Tri and Luna. That's not going to paint. We're the ones painting here. So we're able to flip that zone into our possession. We're able to push up. Right here, now I want to take their plat because I need that space. I don't want the edit sitting there. I don't want the Luna sitting there. I don't want the junior there. And I don't want the Tri there. I don't want anyone on their team sitting on their block because I don't want them gating any space. And wouldn't you guess it? Look who's on the right side. And sorry, KJ. Look who's on the right side again. It's the Luna Blaster. Because the Luna Blaster loves to sit on that right side. Because our zap goes down, we lose a lot of paint. But I'm able to take this chance as the junior is just singled out here. I'm able to get the pick off of the junior, so they lose a lot of their paint. And I'm able to just, I'm able to let them have it. There goes that edit. Now that I'm behind them, this is a great chance for me to get some good picks. So, now that I'm able to take care of the edit, they're not going to have their crab. And with the little team up, we're able to take out that Tri. So now they're 3 down, and we gain lead off of this. And as you can see, we have complete control now. Before, we were still gaining a little bit of control. But now that we have that control, we're just going to lock him out. That's the goal here. We just want to lock him out. So they end up wasting that bubble a little bit. There's a bit of a scuffle that happens on the right side again with the Luna Blaster. Because the Luna likes to sit right. But we're able to take him out. We're able to still keep up that paint. Junior goes down. That's all their paint down. They just popped crab. So that edit's going to be stuck there. And the goal here is just to paint. We're just going to be painting. Luna Blaster is going to try to push up here. But unfortunately, they're out of time. And we're able to paint that zone, the KO. And that was game 1 of the set. So, very good start for the set. Leading with us for that KO. But we were able to take the space that matters. And we were able to use our specials to their full capabilities. And we used our past experiences with them before to take those wins. So, the last game I'm going to talk about is our Undertow Rainmaker game. So this was the last game. So it's currently 2-0. This is the last game. This is their last shot. If they lose this, then it's over. And this was a very interesting call that we didn't actually expect to happen. Double bucket. We see a Bloblobber come out here. Now, Bloblobber isn't the worst thing I've seen played. Blob can have value here because of how linear this map is. So, I can see the opportunity why maybe we should pull out the Blob. Because it's a very linear map, it's easy to get kills off of it. Now again, we started off this tournament with that Rainmaker. We know that we can get that pop. We're instantly going to go for it. Luna, again, likes the right side. And they end up getting the pick off of me. But my teammate is able to get them off so they don't get any value further from that. They pick up the Rainmaker. They kind of voice their rain here. And with my crab, I'm just barely not able to get them. And they are able to get that checkpoint before obviously being wiped out by my crab, which is great. We have the cooler. Great position. We get the wipeout. We're going to push that Rainmaker as far as possible. We already have mid. I make the call. We're going to go left. I paint that left path. And then right here, this is where Blob really gets value because of how good it actually is at holding some of these positions. So definitely an interesting pick, but Blob does get that value. But we are able to actually get them away. I don't want to push that blob just because I know they're going to have the advantage on me, and I'm already weakened because of that rain, so it would be a risky fight. So I don't want to take that fight. I just want to stay back and throw bombs where I can. See what I do here. We clear that checkpoint. There goes my crab. I'm able to use that crab to get that pop. I'm able to take out the edit, which is going to be huge. They lose a lot of defense with that. Then they lose try, so they just lost a bunch of their aggression. And it's really just that blob that's keeping us back. We really, right here, I do call out that we need to get rid of the blob, because the blob was honestly the only thing keeping us from pushing here. But in this situation, I'm like, okay, let's just go for the lead. We'll go for a quick lead just to make sure we have it, which is what happens here. And we do end up getting wiped out, but we got something. I know here, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. It's only a 3-point lead. We really don't want to keep that. And I make the call here, and I tell the team, listen, we have a lot more time. This is not a safe lead. They're honestly probably going to take lead on this next push. So we need to be ready to push back. So they like to go the right side. A lot of people like to go right here. As you can see, I'm about to have my crab. And I think you guys know what I'm going to do here. I'm able to get the pick off of the blob just because they were in a position where I was able to get them. Boom, there's my shot. There goes my crab. We're able to take him out. Force that try back. And now I'm able to paint over mid a little bit. They definitely want to try to keep as much space as possible. But I do want to try to push up. But I can't because of that blob. And right here, they end up pushing the left side. And what's really good here is that once you clear the checkpoint, the left side is way easier to push. So they took the opportunity, and as I said before, I knew they were going to get a lead, and that's their lead. We got down to 41. Not a huge lead, but definitely a lead. The try and edit are able to take me out, but luckily my teammates are going to be in there to finish off the job. They don't have their crab. We let the Rainmaker reset. We're going to go in for that fast pop. We're actually able to get a pick off of the pop, which is great. We limit their aggression. Another pick. There goes 3 down. Now this is our chance to push up, but the Luna Blaster is behind us. And because of that, it actually ends up delaying us a bit, giving them more time for their teammates to spawn in. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let me grab the Rainmaker. Our teammates are popping specials, so it only makes sense that I grab the Rainmaker because I already have used my crab, so I'm not going to have any value special-wise. Try goes down there. Edit goes down, which is very good, but look who's here again. It's that blob. And as I said before, I thought blob was a very interesting pick, but the reason why it can work on here is because of how linear the map is. And right here, I can't push if that blob's there. My teammates need to take care of that blob if we want to push up here. And they are able to do that. Second the blob goes down, we're able to push. But unfortunately, it ends up getting stunned because the Luna Blaster is able to take me out. But they just run that all the way down to 18, which is very good. And we're just going to try to stall out here. We know we can't push further, but we got to be careful with that Rainmaker. So I go to back up. We want to make sure that Rainmaker cannot get as far as we can. I pop a very risky crab there, able to trade off the try, which is fine. In this state of the game, any trade that we get is going to value us more because they have to approach us. So the less players that they have, they really can't do much with it. So me going down here isn't the most negative thing. I am able to pick off their try, so I limit a lot of their aggression. But they're just really trying to push forward here. Our Zook is able to come from behind, take him out. Blob tries to take an aggressive position. And we see our Zap is able to take them out. We got Try stuck in mid. They're going to back up. And right here, it's like, you know what? We don't have to push. We're gonna keep mid. We're gonna keep mid. That's all we have to do here. We don't even have to push. We're in the late stages of the game. Here we go. Last 30 seconds. And I make a very bad play there. Hold on. Let's look at that again. So I ended up making a very risky play. I thought I could get the shot off of the edit, but I unfortunately couldn't. And right here, I should have paid more attention to the fact that we are 2 down. In this situation, you never want to push because you want to keep your life. The life matters so much more than you think in this kind of situation, especially when there's only 30 seconds left and they're going to be desperate enough to do one final push. So I make a very bad play there. Edit's able to pick me off. And boom, this is going to start their last push. The Luna goes down. Boom, aggression's out of the way. We don't got to worry about that. Last 10 seconds, we kill the Rainmaker, it's over. I want to just charge up my crab as much as possible. Boom, cooler's down. Just to make sure we have enough support as possible. And boom, there goes my crab. Just to seal the game. And we win the set 3-0. And we end up getting 3rd place in beta bracket. So, yeah, I hope you learned a thing or two. I don't know if me yapping is going to help at all. But that was basically just my mindset and what I'm thinking going across majority of these matches. I wanted to talk about both wins and losses, so I hope that came into effect. But yeah, if you guys want to see videos like this in the future where I talk about tournaments like this and just talk about how I approach games, let me know. I'll make more videos like this. I mean, it's really just me yapping. It's been an hour of me yapping without getting rid of the cuts. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know how long it's going to take to edit. But nonetheless, I hope you guys learned a thing or two from this video and enjoyed me yapping. So yeah. So again, if you want to see content like this in the future, let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video.